first of all, let me just start off with the audience to know how you write love letters. This is a love letter you wrote to the president of EU. For some of you guys, maybe your husband writes you a love letter. Maybe your boyfriend writes you a love letter. Maybe your spouse, maybe your parents, something like that. This is how he writes a love letter. Listen to this. It's poetic. So, to the president of EU, Mr. President, dear leftist, dear so-called rule of law lovers, it's been 365 days since the Qatar gate exploded. And what have you done? Nothing. What have you done about the vaccination scandal in the European Commission? Nothing. Oh, sorry, you've done a lot. You've been attacking Polish government for 8 years. For 8 years, you try to lecture us. You try to lecture us about the rule of law. Rule of what? Rule of corruption? That's what it is. It's your people who were arrested. You are trying to lecture Mr. Trump, Mr. Bolsonaro, Mr. Milei. You're trying to lecture the whole world, conservative world, about the rule of law. And your people are arrested for corruption. You have no right to lecture us. You have no right to telling us what the democracy is. You have no right to tell me what the rule of law is. This is why I promised we're going to fight your leftism ideology until the final victory. So help me God. This doesn't sound like a two-term Polish parliament. This doesn't sound like a two-term European parliament. This sounds like the future PM president of Poland. Is that at all in the plans, or
you're starting on?
Yeah.
Okay. Every politician has ambition to become a president. If I wouldn't have these ambitions, I wouldn't be a good politician. We do have elections next year. Our political party did not make any decisions yet. So we'll see. If there is a need, I will run. But again, there is no decision yet. We have to do a proper survey. We have to really look for the answers, what people want, what people need. So I might run. Yeah, that's the answer. But there is no decision yet.
Okay. Now, is it you choose to run, or is it, hey, let's have him run? How does it work in Poland?
In Poland, well, the system in Europe, in Poland, is completely different than in America, right? In America, you have primaries, you have decision of the Democrats or Republicans, and in our system is different. We have, let's say, a board of 6 or 10 people who are in charge of our political party. We are trying to find the best candidate. Then there is a common decision. First of all, do you want to run? If you want to run, if you're ready to fight, do it. So our CEO, let's say, Mr. Tarczynski, he's in charge of our political party, and he will make a decision. Obviously, you can run as independent.
Got it.
But it's not a good choice.
So
our election is next year, but again, we don't know yet who is the best. I'm only 45 at the moment, so I've got time.
You're a young man.
I am.
March,
Thank
right?
you.
March 79, right? You're
That's
March
right.
79.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think
sooner or later, I'd like to fight leftism as a president, but we'll see. It doesn't have to be
so
now.
tell me, what's you're saying 8 years. By the way, some stats. I looked at the stats on what's happened. The one thing, Kelly, maybe if you want to even bring up this clip, and we can start off with this clip, but when I look at the stats of Poland, in 2022, Poland reported largest numbers of refusal of entry among EU countries, 23,330 refusals. Border crossing since 21, Polish border guards have stopped nearly 100,000 attempts by migrants to illegally cross into Poland from Belarus. So, That's interesting to look at that. When you go to the next number that I have here, homicide rate, Poland has one of the lowest, if not the lowest homicide rate, the lowest homicide rate in Europe, 0.7.
That's right.
Out of per 100,000 inhabitants in 2022.
The lowest rapes, the same with the rapes, the lowest in Europe.
This is very important to know. I think the world wants to know how. So the lowest rapes, the lowest homicide. In 2022, there were 491,000 recorded criminal offenses, a downward trend from 99 that used to be over 1 million.
Correct.
So how did you do it? People want to know. And then Poland ranks favorably in terms of public safety in the 2022 Global Peace Index.
And the lowest unemployment, the highest GDP after COVID. That's official data from
you
Eurostat.
kidding me?
It's true. It's true. The lowest unemployment in European Union, the highest GDP after COVID, one of the lowest public debts. That's official data from Eurostat. How? Well, first of all, safety. I was very, very straight about our policy. As you know, zero illegal migrants. That was our government's policy for 8 years. Zero means not even one. Not even one if it's illegal. If you want to come to Poland, that was very straight. If you want to come to Poland, you can come. We are not North Korea. You can come and visit. You can come and work. You can be legally. So you have to prove who you are. You have to submit your documents. You have to ask for a visa. Then you will have permission to stay for 3 or 6 months or a year or whatever. And that's fine. If you pay taxes, if you want to contribute to our society, we don't mind. But it's up to us if we want you. It's not up to illegals. And that is why when you see Sweden, Germany, France, and others, there is such a huge difference that when I'm back home after a week in Brussels, because we European parliamentarians are in Brussels the whole week, so I'm going back home for weekends. I just want to kiss the land, my homeland. It's so beautiful. And I'm not saying that because I'm Polish, that's obvious, but because of this data. Like, you want to just breathe. It's clean. It's safe. It's normal. That's why I'm trying to say that Poland is the last stronghold of Christianity and normality in Europe. I'm proud of that. Over 1,000 years of history, our kings, John Paul II, all of these big names, not many people know that Copernicus was Polish. John Paul II obviously was Polish. Chopin was Polish. Then King Sobieski, who stopped Muslims in Vienna, he was Polish. He saved Europe. So we contributed, we gave the world so many things, so many great people, that I'm proud to be Polish. And when I'm back at home for weekend, I feel like Poland is 40 million nation, which is responsible for Christian Europe as a continent. I mean, when we discussing this woke ideology, when we fight leftism in European Parliament, we're trying to say, okay, we have to go back to the roots. Roman law, Greek philosophy, Christianity, not only as a religion, but also as an art, culture, the way of living, the mentality. There's such a big difference between the rest of the world. And I love our continent and I want to fight for it. Because if we will not be very active, Christian Europe is gone. And it's the same thing. That's what I said yesterday in Mr. Trump's international golf in New Jersey club. We had a meeting last night.
Bedminster?
Yes. And we had this Catholics for Trump meeting. Mr. President, he was there playing golf, relaxing.
Did you play with them as well?
I didn't have time.
Got it.
The agenda was, the meeting was very important because we had 300 people who represent different organizations, and they are ready to fight in November here. It's so important what is going to happen in America, because this is not only about Trump and Harris. This is not about Republicans and Democrats. It's not about America only. If Donald Trump wins, we have a chance to back to normality. To normality, basically. If the wokeness will continue in America, it will spread around the world. Because what I see in Europe, whatever happens in America, 6 months later, we have it in Europe. Right? Guys in addresses, wokeness in full scale, gender ideology and all this. It started somewhere in here, and 6 months later, we had it in Europe. So whatever happens in here, It's going to happen in Europe and in different parts of the world. So we need Trump. The world needs Trump because we need normality. Our Western civilization will be destroyed if he's not going to win. I believe he's going to win. That's why I'm here. The reason I came here, obviously, is because of your invitation. Thank you again. But I came here to join his team and campaign with Polish community with the Poles who will vote in November. So I'm going to spend. It's 12 weeks left. Mm-hmm. I'm going to spend some time here, and I'm going to work hard to help Mr.
You're
Trump.
here for the next 12 weeks?
Yes.
You're going to be in the States campaigning?
Campaigning. I'm going to start with Pennsylvania.
Got it.
Then Michigan, and then Chicago.
Really?
Because, yeah. I'm going to.
And they called you to say, would you be willing to come and campaign for us?
Yeah. I mean, I had a conversation with Ed Martin, who is in charge of Catholics for Trump. And we decided that we're going to start open meetings in the parishes and then dioceses.
What a great move.
Yeah. That's we need it. We need it. It's
right.
not because when I see what might happen if she will be elected, I'm trying to remember about my kids, grandkids, and about the fight my grandpa was leading against communism. That's my very personal story about my grandfather. As you know, Second World War ended in 1945. For Poland, this war ended with the tragedy of communists taking over Poland. So Germany lost, Soviets took over half of the Europe. Poland was under the Russian occupation. And my grandpa decided that he's not going to finish his fight in 1945. So he fled to the forest, created an army, underground army, and he fought until his colleagues fought until 1969. Not many people know. It was 200,000 people, army, underground army fighting communists. So
your grandfather left?
He was in charge. He was in charge of one of the branches of the army in the eastern Poland. So my family, I grew up in the environment when we hate communists for what they have done to us. We love freedom. And I know that if I will not be very active now in America, Europe will be lost again. Europe will be lost. America will be lost, and then Europe will be lost. So there is a very personal, very deep meaning for me to be here. It's not only politics. It's called politics for me, but for me it's the history of my country, history of my family, and the future of my family and my country. So I see this as a duty to be here, to do whatever I can to help Donald Trump. Because again, it's not about politics, it's about our life. It's about the way we want to live, and we want to prepare the world for the next generations. It might sound big, but it is big. That's how I see things. So that is the reason I'm here.
Tell me you don't love this guy. Tell me you don't love his patriotism on how much he loves his country. Don't you just respect somebody that loves their country as much as this guy does? Well, listen, I love America, and I'm America first. If that's you and you believe the future looks bright, we have a new supply of the best hat we've been selling, the USA hat with the future looks bright on the side. Sport this especially for the rest of the year with everything that's going on. If you're a proud American and you believe the future looks bright, every time we announce this hat, we sell thousands and then we have to wait 3 months to get a new shipment in. Click on a link below, place your order, sport the gear, USA with Future Looks Bright.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.